How's it going? Wait for a few people to come on. Hope everybody's doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A drink. Sound check. Can everybody hear me? Hope you guys can all hear me. My computer is still on the up, and I can't do anything about this light stream that's right here. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, Larry. Oh, love doing the Wheelie Wednesdays. Yep. Just hanging out. Got some work done. Got some bikes switched around in the shed or in the tent, whatever you want to call it, the shop. So we got the Z50 Honda. How you doing, Corey? Yep, got the Z50 Honda, the CDI ignition conversion all done. Super stoked about that. That came out pretty good. Very happy. One more bike. I don't have to worry about points. Points aren't bad, but when you have as many bikes as I do, they're bad. Because when you go to tune them up, that, you know, like I said before, you got 16 to 18 bikes, and you got to buy points for them every other year. It's expensive. So try to keep them simple. Try to keep them sweet. I don't mind buying different plugs. You know, you buy a box of, you know, certain plugs, and, you know, like the B7HS and the B8ES. You know, you get 2 boxes of those, and they fit multiple different bikes. And then you have your oddballs, like that little Z50 takes its own special plug. So what I do is I buy a pack of 4 for that, and then I keep them in the storage container. So pretty much what I do with all the bikes, I buy plugs throughout the year, and then I keep them in my storage cabinets, you know. So when I need them, I have them. And I always buy plugs if I don't need them. So like if I go buy a B8ES, I buy a 4-pack. Then I have them. So that's pretty much how I do them with everything. Like fuel hose. If I need a foot, I buy 5 feet. That way, I have it for other builds and stuff like that. I use that blue line, the 5mm. Works great. And it's really cool. You can get them in different colors if you go on eBay. Type in 5mm fuel line, and then they come up. They have this line called Monster. I have one. It's Kawasaki green. They have it in red. Its fuel line says Monster on it. Do not buy that line. It is junk. Yeah, don't buy it. It's junk. I bought some pieces of that. They sell it in, you know, like 4-foot sections. I bought a couple of different types. And what happens with it, unlike the blue line will bend and flex, the Monster one kinks and crimps. So you don't want that. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's you know, when you're doing the amount of bikes that I do, or you have your collection, and this is more for those who have collections or are just getting into it, you know, you will use, these are what I call consumables: fuel hoses, clamps, plugs, points, condensers, you know, that sort of thing. So, what size? 5mm, the same as the fuel. On the KEs, the KMs, the KDs, I just use the 5mm. And then if you watch my tips and tricks, I take the very edge and I cut it off. And then I actually use that, Corey, as a fuel hose. So I crimp it down, I put the fuel hose over itself, and it becomes a clamp. And I've been doing that for a very long time. It's an old trick. It's actually a marina trick for like use on boats. Because you don't have to deal with clamps, and it makes a really, really tight fit because the 5mm clear fuel hose is elastic. So it'll fit inside of itself, and then that ring becomes a nice clamp. Nice, you know, holds right onto it. So pretty neat. It's a pretty neat trick, and I've been doing it for a very long time. And it's one of those things that when you see how well it works out perfect. Now, on Alvin's bike, I used a clamp, because it was just easier to use a clamp. But his what do you call it there? the nipple that sticks off his carburetor is actually 5 millimeters, so it fit on there nice and snug, and I could use the regular clamp. But if you have like one that's maybe 4.5, they don't make a 4.5 line, so you can use the 5 millimeter with that little trick I just told you. Yeah, it's all 5 millimeter. It's all 5 millimeter hoses on the Kawasaki's. And it's a good line, right from the petcock right to the carburetor. And you can use it right from your oil tank right to your oil pump. And the cool thing about the blue line is you can see what's going on. So, like on Aaron's bike, just before he picked it up, I had a little problem with his petcock. His petcock was clogged, and I could see how my fuel level was dropping down, and it wasn't refilling. So it's more of a sight glass. I can see what's going on inside that line. I can see if my oil pump is getting oil or if there's a clog. I had one bike one time that had, so when you have a quart bottle and you're dumping the oil in to the two-stroke, you know that piece of, what's it called, like a foil, that had fallen off and went inside the oil tank. Well, where does it go? It goes to the bottom, and where the nipple is, it covered off the top and starved the oil pump for oil. And I noticed it only because I had the clear line. I tried to bleed it out, wouldn't blow through. So then I had to take the tank off, dump it upside down, and then that came out. But I was able to catch it before it did any damage. Isn't the line small? That hard plastic line is a smaller diameter, but it goes into the same fitting. So it's a really thin line, and then it goes into the step-up fitting onto the banjo fitting. Is how they do it. So it is a small, but that's a hard plastic line. So it's a very, that line is actually designed to flow the amount of oil going through it. So you want a lot of oil going to your pump, and then what comes out is basically that thinness of that line meters the oil going to the we call injector for the rotary valve. That is a great question, by the way, but that's how that works. So because you can't have a bigger line going out than you do coming in, so it has to be the opposite. It has to be a bigger line coming into the pump and a smaller line going out. Because if it was the opposite, it wouldn't be able to pump that type of volume. So it's one of those kind of like what you call it there, a high pressure washer, like a pressure washer you use to wash your cars and stuff. You got the big garden hose going in, and then you got the small going up to the small hose going up to the wand. It's the same concept. You have to have bigger coming in, smaller going out, but it comes out with higher pressure. So it's the same principle. It's pretty neat. Those oil pumps are great pumps. I love all the ones that all mine. Thank God, knock on wood, work amazing. I only had one problem with any pump, and that was on my KM100. So it's pretty cool. I had a person ask me if I had a stator, and on a KE100, the stators don't go bad. The only way they go bad is if we damage them by trying to take them apart, meaning they stick a screwdriver in there. We really got to be more careful with all these stators, because people are destroying these things left and right, and it's like you guys are going to run out of them. I can put a spacer on the for what and on what bike? For performance reasons. What do you mean space? Like to lift the cylinder up? I'm not really sure what you're asking. Because when you put a spacer on a motor, that lengthens it. If you're talking about like a KE100, what kind of bike do you have? And that's the reason why I want to ask this question, because what do you call it there? It's a KE100. Okay, so yeah, you don't want to lift the cylinder up, because if you lift it up, you're going to change where the fuel gets. Yeah, if you lift it up, yeah, if you put it underneath the cylinder, it's going to lift the cylinder up, the piston is going to have some skirt slapping at the bottom, and when the piston's supposed to cover the intake and exhaust ports, it's not going to happen at that time. And what's going to happen is you're going to create more volume up at the top that is not going to be compressed. That motor is not going to run right. The idea is to make it so it's where the picture this right here is the combustion chamber in the cylinder head, and right here is your spark plug. When the piston comes up and compresses, okay, it's going to compress all the air and fuel into this little area. Then the spark plug detonates and it comes down. If you put a spacer under the cylinder, what's going to happen is instead of this piston coming all the way up to the top like this, it's only going to come up to about here, and now you have more space. You want less space in the combustion chamber. You want to tightly squeeze it. It's basically, I hate to say it like this, but it's like a bomb. It's compressing the air and fuel molecules and you know, all the air and all the fuel together in a tightly compacted space, and then the spark ignites and blows it apart, okay, and then drives the piston down. So the higher the compression, the better off it is. Yes, if you shave the cylinder down, now you just did, that was exactly, they actually make a high compression head for this motor. So what happens is when you have a wider combustion chamber, okay, you're compressing it all up in here, and then it's just, you know, it's going to run right. It's going to run beautifully. You can get plenty of power out of it, but it's not performance. A performance one would have a smaller combustion chamber. So now, like I said, the tighter you can squeeze that fuel and air together and then detonate it, that's going to give you more maximum power. And I actually have a video on high compression cylinder heads. Yeah, you'd have less compression. That's right, Brian. If you put a spacer under it, it wouldn't come all the way up. You'd have less compression, which would give you less power. The higher compression, the more power. But you got to remember, when you do use a high compression cylinder head, you've got to increase your octane. So you can no longer use 89 octane. You have to use premium gas, because if you don't, it's not as volatile. So the octane is lower on the, you know, obviously on the lower numbers, and that's going to create piston slap. The piston's going to be slapping the wall. You have like a ping, and it could cause detonation, because instead of the spark blowing up and the flame coming down nicely, what happens is it's all broken up inside the cylinder. There's a lot of turbulence when that happens, and that's what causes detonation or pre-detonation. And that's where you'll have a ping, and then it'll run, but it won't run. You'll lose power. So you have to. The best fuel you could get would be racing fuel. Like if you had like a 104 on a high compression head, that's going to be great. And also, there's when you use what's the word? Premium gas, you also have a cooler running engine. It runs cooler. No, I don't sell my bikes. My bikes are all one-off. That's a good question, though. But yeah, no, my bikes are all ported. Yeah, no, I couldn't part with my bikes. A couple of days ago, I texted you a strip gear Kickstarter. Oh, I did see that. I haven't had a chance to reply to that. You'll have to text that to me again. I have got so many text messages. It's not even funny. So sometimes I lose track of my text. I think that's what happened. Just a Paul worn out. YouTube placement. Yeah, I'll do. If you could send that back to me, that'd be great. Would 110 be too? No. 110 would not be too much for that octane. In fact, I would say run that. When I do your bike, it's going to be in the 97 to the 101 octane, right in that range, with that high compression head. You still want to make the bike so it runs on pump gas, so you don't have to go out and buy a special fuel. See, that's the purpose of these mods, is to be able to use the bike on the street, be able to go to a regular gas station, pump it up, and take off again. If you had to buy, like, say, 110, that's a racing fuel, or like a 104 octane boost, you're gonna have to go to a special gas station. It's gonna cost you a lot more money. You can get the difference between 101 and 110. You're not gonna notice that. Hold on one second. He just sent me a picture, so I just want to answer this question that he asked me the other day. Okay, let's see here. That Paul looks good. That looks good. You're looking at the sharp edge, not the rounded edge. The rounded edge is facing down. That looks good. Yeah, I don't see any problem with that. All right, hold on one second. That part that is chipped, is that the inner part on that, Corey? Because if that Paul looks like that, because from your picture that I'm looking at right here, well, you can't really see it with the camera, but the picture of it where it's inserted, it looks amazing. It looks great. I wouldn't change it. But that second picture you sent me of the Paul with the chafed edge, that is no good. I would not use that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I wouldn't use that Paul if that's the one. Yeah, I wouldn't use that Paul. From the picture, the top picture you looked where it's installed, you can't tell the difference because that piece that's sticking up looks great, but the part that's inside the Kickstarter, the cog, that right there, I definitely would replace. Yeah, it's not going to grab. It's going to strip out, and you're going to end up hurting your ankle doing that. So I would definitely get a new one of those. And that right there was someone probably really just kept kicking the hell out of that, kept kicking it and kicking it and kicking it. Another thing too, that's a common thing on, is if you start the bike and you resting your foot on the Kickstarter and it's coming around, it's going to chew that up like that too. My estimated horsepower on the KE 102, I'm shooting for 20 when it's all done. So the bike originally was 11, and I've got an expansion chamber that's going on the bike, some serious modifications to the what do you call it there, the carburetor and all that. So I got and I'm not done. I'm actually going to go back into that motor again because I have some other modifications that I wasn't going to do and decided to do. That's going to be a really cool, fun bike. I got 5 bikes ahead of it right now. And once I get those 5 bikes, I'm not taking any more bikes in to do any work. We're going to be focusing on that. What would cause that to be like that is if you had, after the bike starts, and, sometimes people will listen to the bike and they have their foot resting on the Kickstarter, that would be engaged. It will eventually happen to all bikes over time. I mean, it's just one of those things. But you definitely want to make sure that when the bike is started, you don't hear any clunking in that area because that means it's partially engaged. Things that would do that is, like, if your spring was worn out and or twisted, that would cause that. Or you didn't put that cup in the middle of the spring and it kept the starter cog engaged a little bit. In the New England area, I could do that. Sorry about that. My computer just glitched. Yes, I can totally do that. I can what do you call it? They go with you, take a look at a bike. If you pick out a bike and you're in my area, I have no problem doing that. Yeah, I mean that Paul, it's a you should be able to get that right on eBay. In fact, I think I have a drawer of them. So I'll talk to you later about that anyway. I think I have a whole bunch of those. I'm pretty sure I do. Pretty sure I have an absolute mess of them. I got to get rid of a lot of brake components, a lot of air filter assemblies, and a lot of cylinder heads, and just a lot of side covers, guys. So on the Kawasaki forum, I'm going to be posting a lot of parts that I'm going to be putting out there for sale. I just get too much stuff, and I'm going to be posting a lot of it pretty soon coming up, probably within the next week or two, just to get rid of a plethora of it, just because there's so much of it, you know. So be looking out for the stuff, and I have the Kawasaki forum there, the Kawasaki KE, KM, KD, MC1, that forum right there. You can find it right on Facebook. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the exhaust system that I'm using on the KE102 is a an aftermarket pipe made for the KE100 that they don't make no more. And I saw it on there. I had to have it. And the guy, Todd, who I bought it off of, only charged me $50 for that pipe. So I couldn't be more happier to get that pipe. And no holes, nothing like that. And yeah, it's going to be a cool pipe, and I'm going to try to replicate a couple of them. I think it'll be a cool pipe to have, especially on that bike. Also, too, you can modify the Suzuki TS 90cc to fit the bikes too, which is a really cool pipe. I'll be showing you guys videos on that too as well. We're really getting into it now. So we got right now. You guys haven't seen it on the video yet because I haven't recorded anything yet on it. I'm going to do it tomorrow. But tomorrow night will be a later video. I've been posting them kind of in the morning. The last couple of videos are going to be in the morning. This one's going to be a little later in the evening coming up. I have Robert's bike on there, which is a Yamaha DT 400. And it is a super cool bike. He bought a lot of parts for it. He's going to be buying a lot more stuff for it. We're going to be going through it. I mean, there's so much wrong with the bike. It's what we absolutely love. And we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at Matt's bike, the KE100, that I asked you guys to leave your comments down, and we're going to go through and I'm going to show you. We're going to nitpick his bike to pieces, and that sounds bad, but it's really, really good because I want you guys to see exactly how I see a bike, and it's really kind of an art form when you look at it because you are literally a detective, and you got to find every little nook and cranny that's wrong with these bikes. And as you guys know from the channel, when I go through a bike, I literally pick it apart, piece by piece, bolt by bolt, fitting. If it's correct, that's good. If it's incorrect, it's gone. And that is what I do. And that's what I love doing about this when I get these bikes. So we're going to literally take his bike and we're going to look at every single thing. And so what I'll be doing is we're going to be doing some stuff like that. And I'm going to try to do something special when I go to do that bike because I think that the learning part of this is going to be really, really super cool. Any suggestions on finding a used muffler cover baffle? I do believe I have the guard. The baffle I don't have, and the muffler I might have. So I have to check on that. I know that you'll have to send me pictures of your muffler that you have, and let me know. But yeah, Matt, your bike is going to be a really, really super cool learning tool for the channel. And I'm really super excited about it. So we have bikes, like I said before it, but once we get into it, we're gonna pick it apart. I have a donor bike that we're gonna be pulling parts and pieces off to put onto the bike, and we're literally gonna go from front to back, peg to peg, ground to top of the mirror, and make it nice and smooth. So that's the plan with that. When you see all the stuff, the first thing you do is goes in your head, how much is this going to cost me? The money aspect, the hard to find parts and pieces. Relax, you just take your time, and we're literally going to go through it. We're going to do an evaluation on it, what they cost, what the parts cost, how you can get them, how you can even look them up, because a lot of people don't know how to look up the parts. Partzilla is how I look up parts, but we're going to do we're going to take a piece of paper, and I'm going to show you guys start to finish, leaving no stone unturned. And when Matt gets his bike back, he's going to be riding this thing, and he's going to just love it to pieces. Well, I don't know what you mean by shipping advice. Yeah, you have to let me know what you mean by that. I mean, just like I said, make sure that when they bubble wrap it, and if they could put it in a box, I would recommend putting it in a box. But you're really not going to hurt these exhausts. Oh, you're very welcome, Matt. You're very welcome. Like I said, it's gonna be a nice learn. There's so much wrong with your bike that I absolutely love your bike, and because we're gonna be able to pick it apart. And your bike is, when I say this, I'm not disrespecting the bike. Someone loved that bike, and this is where I talk about love. Like when you put the nail in the brake, okay? This is things that the old school ways that people just, I got to do a quick fix so I can ride my bike. And that is exactly what a biker would do. They would MacGyver it and get it going, and that's what is with that bike. And we're going to love it. We're going to go, just like I said, right through the whole bike. And by the time we're done, it's going to be a sweet bike. And like with Brian's bike, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be talking about modifications on Brian's bike. Brian's bike is a motor build, which is really super cool. Not the 350 head. I think the 350 head is too big. So you'll be looking at the bolt pattern and the combustion chamber when you go to put that on. And the cylinder head, a lot of those, yeah, I know you meant the cylinder head. The cylinder head, the 4-bolt pattern on the 350 is bigger because it has a much bigger piston, so that won't fit on there. Bikes that had the high compression head were the early KE100s, the early G4s. You're looking at those type of bikes. The G4 TR, a lot of those came. Well, half of them, literally half, came with high compression and then regular compression heads. But that's where you're gonna feel a lot more power when you put that head on. I mean, it's night and day. And when you kick the bike over, you're gonna feel it too. It's gonna be a little harder to kick. So I keep meaning to bring this up, and I haven't. I keep forgetting about it. When you put a high compression head on your bike, it's a good idea when you kick it to kick it over slowly and build it up on compression. And then when you get on compression, give it a good kick, and then it will fire up. Cool. Yeah. Text me. It's easier to text me than it is to email me. Only because I don't really check my emails all that often. But let's see. I think you have. I don't know if I put my number on there. There's my number right there. You can text me. That's the best way to do it. I'm just so busy. when I'm not doing bikes and that sort of thing, I'm working on trucks and cars and bikes and motor, all kinds of stuff, and machines, equipment, lawnmowers, chainsaws, you name it. Literally, if I turned the camera on all day, it would be it'd be like 10 hours of video, and you guys would probably get sick of me. Can a bike run without a muffler? Yes, it can run without a muffler. And if you do that, what's going to happen is it'll overspeed because there's no back pressure, and it will it will lean out. Like you literally could damage your motor. Now, if you don't rev it up and you just start it and let it idle, you can do that. So if you look at my videos, Corey, I have one. Look at the Harvey Spooner one, the MB5, and you'll literally see a bike running without a motor. I had it mounted onto a pallet, and I started up a two-stroke without an exhaust. Then eventually I put the exhaust on because I wanted to rev it. Yeah, temporary. Yeah, you could fire it up without an exhaust. Absolutely. It just don't expect power out of it. You know what I mean? Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, don't expect power out of it because there's no back pressure. So you definitely need that. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure what this is. Yeah, hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. All right. Awesome. Yeah, I just got your text, so that went through. And then, yeah, so it's one of those type of things. And we're gonna be doing videos. And if funny you mentioned that, the funny haha, we're gonna be talking about and text me your name on that too, because I just know you as funny haha. We're gonna be talking about how a bike should fit a person, because a lot of people pick out big bikes, and I have a lot of people who are tall, a lot of people who are short, a lot of people who are like me, pudgy in the middle and short, and I have a lot of people who are just beanstalks, 6-foot giants. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about how to pick a bike, and I'm gonna be doing a video on that over the summer. I got a bike out back that I'm gonna be putting on what do you call it there, on Craigslist. It's more of a parts bike. It's a what do you call it? What is that bike? It's a Suzuki Murata, is what it is. A Suzuki Murata 800, and it needs a fuel tank, but the bike runs great. So I'm gonna put that on what do you call it there, on Craigslist, and see if I can't trade it, flip it, or do something with it. But I'm gonna do some videos on it first. I think that would be a good idea to do that, and I'll show you guys a little bit about that bike. It's a liquid cooled V-twin. Nice looking bike. I mean, it's rustic looking, but pretty cool bike. But you guys will be seeing that pretty soon. Gonna have the yard sale this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. It looks like the coronavirus is on the downward slope, so hopefully, knock on wood, we'll be able to do a motorcycle run this year. And I'm looking for what do you call it there, July. Towards the end of July, maybe, or like the second week in July, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. Want to do that when it's summertime. It is a 32-mile ride up to Kangamangas. Just a bunch of guys hanging out. Gonna have a little barbecue, meet and greet, and chit chat, and hopefully I have some T-shirts by then, and which is what I'm hoping for. So we're going to be getting pretty into that pretty soon. I'm down to 5 bikes to work on. So after the 5 bikes, I'm not taking on any more bikes. We have a lot of my personal stuff. I got 2 4-wheelers. I've got a plethora of motorcycles, dirt bikes, and what have you to get done. So we're going to be doing that, and downsizing. So we're going to be downsizing to upsize. I know it doesn't sound right, but it is. So we're going to get rid of a lot of extra parts and then bring a lot of stuff in. Where did you say? What was that? Oh, for a KZ 650 is check out on oh, what do you call that place? Rick's Motorcycle. ricksmotorcycle.com. There are two Ricks. There's Rick's Enterprises. One of those do just electrical components, and the other one does new used parts. Keeper holder. What's it? Keeper holder, chip holder. Oh. Yeah, those are it's a retain. They call it a cable retainer. But if you go on to Partzilla, you'll be able to find that, and you'll see that in there. I haven't got a place yet. I'm still working on the merch thing. I found a couple of places, but the channel is getting bigger, but it's not quite to the amount that they wanted to see, so they wanted to charge a whole lot more. And I'm sorry, I'm not charging $30 for a T-shirt. Just not happening. It's crazy. I mean, you got to make some money, but you can't go crazy. You know. I'm thinking about doing some T-shirts and some hats to start off with, and yeah, trying to figure that whole thing out. So, but we're going to be we're working on that. Oh, you're welcome. So you got holding for only fuel pump pulse weak, not pulsating. Oh, okay, yeah. So, oh, you're welcome, Money. Larry, I have the V65 book. Do you have the repair manual on your bike? The V65 Magna. I actually have the manual on that, so I can get you some. What do you call it there? Some stats. I have a library of bike books because I work on so many plethora of bikes. I'm always buying repair manuals. I see them at a yard sale. Even if I don't have the bike, I pick them up. And often you can offer cheaper price. Okay, yeah, good. So you'll get your specifications in there. What the pump should be putting out. Did you try run it with the gas cap loose? The reason why I say that is because inside your gas cap there's a vent, and if that vent is plugged, which happens right around this time of year, that could cause it to starve for fuel. There's also a fuel pump relay on the bike too. You might want to find that and see if that's actually pulsating, working. So, because it's got to get a signal. If it's killing your ignition coils, that sounds like a weak battery. So, make sure you check that. The condition of your battery. Or try starting the bike with a battery charger hooked up to it, so it gets a little bit extra. Because they will run with a low battery, but it will struggle. I would start with that first. Definitely start with that. Yeah, because I mean it's a simple problem, but you got to find it, and that's the hard part. All problems are simple once you find them. It's just a matter of finding it, and sometimes it's like a needle in a haystack. But try that first. That's where I would start. Because when you have to imagine the fuel system. You get your carburetor, the fuel hose, the petcock, or in your case, we're going to a fuel pump, and then fuel lines going up to the tank. And it's like straw. If you stick your thumb over a straw, you put your thumb. I can't talk tonight. You put your straw in the water. You put your thumb over it, and then you pick it up. What's going to happen is the water's going to stay inside that straw until you open up your thumb, and then it'll come pouring out. Knockout carbs. No, you're not going to get any. Whenever you buy a carburetor, there's no instructions with them. They want you to refer to your owner's manual. What's that noise? Oh, okay. Yeah, they want you to refer to your owner's manual whenever you're looking for like carb information, settings, any of that type of stuff. It's very important. Oh, you sent me a. Hold on a second. Man, technology, you gotta love it. Okay, so right at the front of the carburetor, you get the big round circle thing. To the left of that, sticking straight up is that brass pipe. That is where your fuel line is. That's where your fuel line goes in. Nice looking carburetor too, by the way. Now the reason why they put that little spacer on there for the air filter, you can actually take that off if you want. That pops off. That's for the cone filters. If you had a cone filter, you can put a cone filter on them. I do not recommend those. That's a Chinese thing, and they actually damage bikes. So make sure you don't use a cone filter. I hate those things. They are no good. I take them off. They are good for one thing. If you're working out in a shop and you get the covers off, and you have a cone filter, you can throw it on there, and that's going to keep it protected a little bit from the elements. But if it's outside, do not use those cone filters. They're garbage. They will let water in, and they will destroy that bike. I looked at a really, really nice Honda CB750 Super Sport, and on the kickstand side, and they took off the airbox, and they put 4 pod filters. And wouldn't you know, the one that was exposed was the one that got all the rust. Yeah, it definitely does beat that. Of course, I hate pigeons. But, yeah. I had, where I used to live, we had pigeons all over the place. And all they would do is poop on the side of the house. I'd be out there for hours, pressure washing and scrubbing. It was terrible. But, yeah. You know it is. Pigeons. Ugh. This weather is getting nice, guys. I'm itching to ride. I'm going to go up this week and, well, actually next week, and go register my bikes. Can't wait to get them out. Get the batteries put all back in them. Stop waking them up. Get them out of their hibernation. We'll be doing videos on all that. And, yeah, we have a lot of bikes to start. And I'm probably going to do a video with all of them starting at the same, well, not at the same time, but one, right down the line. We're going to go through them. And it's nice. I'm really excited about that CDI. That came out brilliant. I'm very, very happy with that CDI unit. That was made in Malaysia. It was a plug and play for the little Z50. And I couldn't be more happy with that. My son and I disagree. Scuff it up. Take some light sandpaper, scuff it up, and what do you call it there? If it's not all rusted out or all rusted, just lightly sand it and paint it, and then clear coat it. If it has a lot of rust, then like my bike had all the corners and all the cracks and crevices had rust. I said screw it. I sandblasted the whole thing. Then I primed it. I did 2 coats of primer, 2 coats of paint, and clear coat, and called it happy. And worked out pretty well. I'm very happy with the outcome of that. That was on the KE102, which is now a 10-speed bike. Go figure. But it started its life off as a 5-speed, and pretty cool. I just wanted one. And we're going to get rid of the cable for the high and low. It's going to have a regular shifter. So I'll show you how that is. Very pretty cool. Oh, man. Been out there all day long moving bikes around. But boy, I will tell you, it is well worth it. I got the bikes where they need to be, bikes to work on, all in the shed. It's gonna be a fun few months building bikes, guys. Few months building bikes. And in between those videos, we're going to be doing my bikes, getting my bikes out there and firing them up and doing little repairs to them. We got to do an engine swap on the DS80 and get that all dialed in and tuned up. And then after I get done all the 5 bikes, we have the motor that's coming off the DS80 that has a bad crank bearing. We're going to be going through that whole motor, replacing the kickstarter, everything it needs. We're going to go right through it. And then that motor is going to go in the drawer for the next time. Oh, yeah. I am currently looking, if you guys come across a Suzuki DS100, I need a fuel tank. I'm looking for a fuel tank for a DS100. And then that's pretty much it for that bike. Then I got to paint that bike, paint all the plastics, and then get it all painted up so it looks nice. And get it all the same color. So the side covers are blue. I'm just going to take off the 125 decals that are on it. And because it's not 125 decals, 125 bike, it's a 100. And then I'll paint the bike blue. Black and blue. They could be nice. Won't look as nice as Dave's though. That thing is beautiful. God, that thing kills me. But yeah, we got that. We got what else we got? The beginning of the week we're going to be the last part's supposed to be in for Dave's bike really soon. So as soon as they Tulsa, Oklahoma, once that part gets here, then I can finish we're going to start putting that motor together. That's going to be an intricate video, guys. That's the type of video you're going to want to watch a couple times. Not for the views, but to see how I'm doing the crank bearings on that. That motor is not the same as the KE100. But the techniques can help you with your bikes. The KE100 is more of a sloppy motor, I call it. The stuff just kind of fits together and it's fine. But like on the crank bearings on the what do you call it, TS125, you literally have to heat it up, and then the bearing will fall in. And then once you take the heat, once you let it cool, that bearing will not come back out. Only because what happens is the hole where the bearing sits, you have to heat it up, and the hole will expand. The bearing will slide in. Then when it cools down, it'll contract and squeeze the bearing and hold it tight. Okay, yeah. So if you're wire welding for, if it's bare metal, just hit it with etching primer. It's called etching primer, and hit it with primer, and then paint it, and you should be good to go. Tired. I worked out. I got these. What do you call it? There, a Fitbit, and I walked 15,008 steps today. That's crazy. Crazy. So, yep. But I'm happy with it. It's cool. Pretty neat. I like seeing what activity. Summertime guy, I gotta get my mankini body going. You know what I mean? Riding these bikes down the street with the cheeks hanging out. I'm just kidding with you guys. That'd be terrible. Even I wouldn't want to see that. But yeah, it's, so we got some parts that came in for the 4-wheelers, the LT125s, and I was able to fix that extra starter. So I got that, and it looks like I'm going to be putting both of them together. I was only going to put one, make one into one, like I said in my video. Then I got to thinking, this thing really doesn't need much. So I'm like, I'm going to straighten out what's bent and kind of take some time to do that. And if I don't get it done this year, I don't get it done this year. But at least I get one done, I'll be golden. So that's what we do. We do the one from Harvey Spooner first, and then the other one's going to be second. And, both of them have good seats. The plastics are okay. They're not perfect, but they're okay. Raw parts from one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the parts from one. I'm going to stick them on the good one. Take a note of what I'm taking off, and then I'm just going to order that stuff and put the other one together. I was going to strip it all down, but it looks like I'm just going to put it together. Because, well, we can, and it's a nice 4-wheeler and save them the scrap. Going to build a, everybody online is doing those Predator motors. I'm sure you guys saw those videos, mini bikes, and they're putting 212s. I'm going to be putting one of those on a KE100 frame. No idea. I have no idea. I never really get that much into the paint. So what I do is that, well, I'll use my mini bike for instance, my KV75. That bike's actually supposed to be orange, and it's supposed to be it's a 1980 bike, so it's supposed to be orange with the two black stripes. Um, I'm not restoring the bikes. They're they're all one-off bikes. So like my KV75 has CDI ignition, where they didn't even make a CDI ignition for this bike. I made it. So I put a 1975 fuel tank on it, so it's orange, and it's not orange; it's yellow with the stripe instead of two stripes. So I don't really get into paint codes or anything like that. I ride my bikes. I make them. I personalize them, and they get different ER tanks on them. And sometimes, my KE 100 that I ride is actually a 92. That thing's got a high compression cylinder head. It's got CDI ignition, and it's got the green tank, the green fenders and side cover from a 1994. So my bikes are all kind of, mismatched. The seat covers are different than what the bike originally came with. I literally don't keep them the same because everybody has that same bike. So I make my bikes different. How you doing, Patrick? Yeah, he put it up for sale. He pulled something on the wiring harness. I wasn't really quite sure what's going on with that, but that's a nice bike. That thing is super nice. Compression is wicked high on it. It's a fresh bike. I mean, it's fresh. So he's asking a fair price for it with the 2000. That bike right there, if it was in okay condition, would be around $1,500. But his is in a little bit better condition than regular. And I've gone through that bike front to back, top to bottom, and so it's worth the two grand that he's asking for it all day long. So hopefully he gets that. That's a nice bike. It's a little too old for what I like. I like the newer style, but it is a beautiful. I know it is the same thing. Same with me. If I had the room, but I'm up to 18 bikes now, guys. 18 and counting. And I say that because I keep getting I'm not getting any more bikes. Yeah, I'm getting more bikes. Even when I say I'm not getting more bikes, I'm getting more bikes. It gets to the point where people actually drop bikes off to me now. In fact, the junkyard called me up today and said, "Kevin, I got a bunch of bikes down here." I said, "Well, what do you got?" He said, "I have no idea. I just got a bunch of bikes. Why don't you come down and take a look?" I want to go take a look, but on the other hand, I don't want to take a look because my wife is ready to kill me, and I don't want to die at the hands of my wife. But I mean, there are so many bikes, and they all need a ton of work, and I try to save what I can, but they got motorcycles, and I've got a few motorcycles. I don't really want any more motorcycles. They just get too big. Dirt bikes, at least I can handle them. I can put them around. I got to build a staging unit, like a racking unit, so I can put my mini bikes up top and my regular bikes down bottom. Which that's going to be probably next month. I'm going to end up assembling that, so I have room. Hey, how you doing, Graham? Yeah, it's cool. So I got to do something like that so I can put, because for my mini bikes now, I got the Z50, my KV75, Andrew's KV, what do you call it there, KDX 50 motor on that bike, the Andy bike build. And then I got that 1972 MT1. So there's 4 mini bikes now. Those are going to go up top. And then my KM, my DS80, my KD80, and the GT80 can go underneath. And then I got the bike that I made, which is the KDE90. And I got my KE100. I got my other KE100, which that's going to be going. I'm actually going to give that away to someone. Oh, I know who it's going to. I just, in case he's watching, I can't put that on there. But and I got my what do you call it, DS100, the DS80. So thank you. Yeah, this is a lot of them, and I keep getting them. So I'm still looking for other bikes. One of the bikes I'm looking for is a trail hopper, Suzuki. Want to get one of those, and maybe something else. I'm actually getting into mopeds now, so those are fun. So I got a Matt dropped off a Honda what do you call it, Urban Express 50, which is a super cool bike. I got to go through that. There's gonna be a lot of videos on that one. I found a ton that we have to go through on it, and one of the Machalites just came in for that. Which some stuff comes in super fast, some stuff comes in super slow. Just amazing, but what are you gonna do? You with the shipping and go that route, But that's why I buy things the way I buy them, because you never know if you're gonna need it. It's mounted on that and plugged in. The wheel, I flipped that around, and then we just gonna put the clutch cover on that thing and fire it up, adjust it all up, and then that'll be gone. So we'll be doing that. But right now we're working on Dave's and Robert's bike. Robert's got that. When you see this bike, guys, this thing is it's big, it's powerful, and it is going to be sweet. I cannot wait to ride that 400. That thing will stick the wheel right out. I mean, it's just a super cool, classic looking bike, and he's gotten some really great parts for this bike. I mean, really great parts. So I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. And we have literally a ton of tech stuff coming up. So hope you guys are got your pens and pencils ready and your notebooks, because we're going to be teaching you guys a lot. And we are 5 videos away from 750 videos. I can't even imagine that. I can't even believe I got that far. And well, hold on, guys. Let me share you guys with some stats we got here. We got some stats going on. So the channel. Hold on a second. This is crazy how much this channel has grown. Okay. We are now at 1,180,334 views. That is crazy. And we're coming up on our birthday, guys. We are coming up on our birthday. So our birthday for the channel, from when I first started this channel, well, my son started it, was May 4th, 2016. So we have a birthday coming up, and we're going to do a birthday celebration on that. So that's coming up. And what was I wanted to tell you guys one more thing. And we are now at 5,631 subscribers. So for all you new people, thank you and welcome. For all you old people who have been here with me for a very long time, thank you as well. You guys have literally been the this channel's family. It has been crazy that I have talked with you guys for this amount of time. And I mean, you guys have asked some amazing questions, and we've had some great conversations, and we have done some serious diagnostics, both over the phone, through chat, through here. And this is why we took this live chat to this level, because I couldn't have done this without you guys. So it's really cool to hang out with you guys, So I really appreciate you guys. Having this channel has made it so that we have rescued many, many dirt bikes from the brink of going to a scrapyard, being sold for metal. We've helped out young people, got them out there turning wrenches. A lot of yourselves got you guys off the couches and chairs with 10 millimeters in your hand, and you guys have literally gone out there, worked on your bikes without being a mechanic. I've been by your side through text, through videos and all that, and you guys have done it. You guys have built it, and you guys have gotten your bikes running. One of the subscribers to my what you call it, Steven, worked on his bike and went through it. He did a shout out on the channel. Thank you, Kevin, for all your videos. I get that all the time. I think it's amazing. But the bottom line, you guys did it with your own two hands. And there's not a better feeling of fixing your own bike with your own hands. And with a little bit of guidance and the knowledge of how these bikes are supposed to be, that's what's going to get these bikes running, and that's what's going to keep these bikes on the road for years, decades. Classic bikes running beautifully. And that's really what this is about. This is about you fixing your own bikes, working on them, getting inspired. I have people looking for bikes all the time. Kevin, I found this bike on Craigslist. Buy it. Go ahead, get it. You bring it home. You're not out doing drugs. You're not out drinking. You're not out doing all kinds of stupid stuff you're not supposed to do. You're spending your time and your money on education, on a bike that's worth something that you could flip. The learning experience. Sorry, I got an itchy nose, guys. You guys got some stuff going on. You know what I mean? And it's really, really super cool. And I love seeing the pictures of the bikes. I love seeing what you guys have done and how you guys have done these bikes, you know. And I get there's a couple people, Kevin, I'm sorry for asking so many questions. No, this is what we do. We want the questions. We want you to ask the questions. That's why I do the live chat. That's why I put my phone number. YouTubers don't put their phone number up there for you to call or text them or whatever, you know. But I do, because I'm your instructor and I want you guys to have the same experience I do with all my bikes. I got a ton of bikes and I love them. They're all one-off. So it's really, really cool. So I could pick my bike right out of a crowd because I built it. I got it from junk. I got it non-running, and I literally put the bike together and got it going. So that's really super cool to me, to be able to do that type of stuff, you know. So, and to be able to share my experiences with you guys, and then we're gonna power through. We're gonna be building more bikes, and we got some crazy stuff coming up. So, what do you call it? They got my kids this weekend, so over the weekend there's not gonna be too many videos, but come Monday there'll be a whole bunch more. There's gonna be a video tomorrow night. I'm gonna be working during the day, and then at night I'm gonna be recording, and then we're gonna be pulling some stuff off of what do you call it there, Robert's bike, and going through, you know, kind of the layout of his bike. And so what I like to do on bikes that I'm working on, sometimes I'll print out a picture of the bike so I know where the different parts go and how they sit. I have the books, the manuals, and all that, so it really is cool. No, she is a great wife. I do have an amazing wife. I'll tell you that. And Tom, I'll tell you, she inspires me to do this channel. She inspires me to go forth and build these bikes. In fact, she's the one who ordered that what do you call it there, that garage setup that I have out there. She's the one who ordered that. That was all her. So I have an amazing wife. I'm very, very lucky. And you know, she sees she sees what you guys are, you know, she reads the comments, she sees what's going on, and she knows that this is a helping channel, a learning channel, a teaching channel. And yeah, we're not making money on it. We're really not. What I make on this channel barely helps at all. But I do it because I know how it is to not have help. And when you're building these bikes, and this is why I do this. 18 bikes, a lot of it, if you understood what I paid for the bikes, I paid little to no money for a lot of them. I had an ad going where I was buying bikes for $300 at a pop. And what I would do is I would buy a bike. I would buy 2 bikes, keep the one I want and flip the second one, and that would pay for the next bike. You see what I'm saying? So it's really how you can really snowball and do that. I was buying generators for a while. Yep. So I bought. I put an ad on Craigslist. Wanted generators from 1400 watt to 3500 watt. I was paying $40. From 4500 watt to say 5000 watt, that was $60. And then from there up, and people, oh, I got a non-running generator, and they sell me the generator for that little bit of money. Then what I would do is I'd go through the generator, I'd clean it all up, I'd fix it all up, I'd get it working, get the engine running, get the generator part fixed, and I'd turn around and sell for $350. That's a bike. You know what I mean? So you can really, and generators were going quick. So you can really make a lot of capital out of very little. It's basically from trash to cash. You know what I mean? You don't know about generators. You've got one sitting in your house. You don't want to throw it away, but you don't want to keep it either. It's no good. So I give you an offer. It's junk. You know it's junk. You know it's not working. You sell it to me. I buy it. I fix it. I put the work and parts and time into it, and then I turn around and sell it and make a hell of a profit. And that's how I was buying bikes and stuff like that, parts and all the parts and pieces, like a little entrepreneurship. And I was working full time at the time as well, so I would do that in the evening. So my pay went towards the house and bills and everything else, and whatever I made on generators, I kept for buying bikes. Yeah, they I have a couple of those. I don't have the filters. I have the cone. Um, I should do a video on it. You can make an air filter for that, and I'll show you guys how to do that. In fact, I will get the materials. I'm going to do a video on that, Corey, because that is a great one, and I've been asked that a few times. And making the air filter for that bike, when you see how easy it is and how cheap, you're going to be like, what? And it's reusable. Yeah, I'm going to make a reusable air filter for your bike, and I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to do it right on video. I'll probably do that on I might even do that on a bonus video. It literally takes about 10 minutes to do, and it's super easy. And you can get the element right at the craft store. So it's pretty cool. Oh, awesome, Tom. Yeah, Harvey Spoon is a great mentor, great friend. He's a very nice guy. Right? He's helped me out amazing. And we swap back and forth parts and pieces and everything else. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. He's like I said, he's been a great friend. In fact, he's the one I got the LT 125 from, the MB5, and I just wanted the gauges. But he's like, I'm not gonna give you the gauges. I'm giving you the whole bike. It doesn't run. This is going on with it. Blah blah blah. And then I did his what do you call it? The KD80. So that bike came out great. Great little bike he's got there. Great little bike. So yeah, he's been an amazing friend. Good mentor for the channel. Every time I have YouTube questions and all that, his channel's way bigger than mine because he's doing Hondas, a lot of Hondas. And he's doing the 4-wheelers and 3-wheelers that we all want. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool what he does. And now he's bringing his channel up, and there's Musty One, Harvey Spooner. These are a couple of good friends of mine who I learn from. And I see how they're doing theirs. I do something different, and that's really what it comes down to. Nobody's doing what we're doing on this channel with the live chat. What do you call it there? And what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be doing some tech videos really soon. I'm working on the what do you call it? The logistics of that to be out there in the shop. So we'll have our live chats like we're doing here, but we're also going to have learning, like literally a videos live chat, but working on bikes, and that's going to be pretty cool to do. And we're going to do some getting them running and all that sort of thing, and what it really takes, So it's pretty cool. It's going to be educational. It's going to be a learning curve for me because I'm not really all that, whatchamacallit there. I'm not really all that tech savvy when it comes to like computers and stuff. Well, John. Oh, evening, I should say. I'm way off. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, we'll do some tech work. We're going to take apart that KE100 motor. We're going to evaluate it. We're going to put the clutch in. But we're going to do that on camera, and we're going to do that live. And I'll show you guys piece by piece what to go through. But what I'm going to do it differently because it's a learning channel. I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask you guys what you guys think, and you guys can give me your feedback. And it's pretty cool because there's no such thing as a stupid question or a stupid answer. What it is I want to see where you guys are at, and then I'm going to take where you guys are at, and we're going to mold you and shape you into into a mechanic. By the time this channel gets done with you, you're all going to be motorcycle mechanics. Just so you guys know, you'll be able to be like, oh, that's the problem. Oh, that's the problem. Or this is the problem. And the diagnostics of it are going to come to you like that. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take my experience, and I'm going to take your knowledge of what you know already, and I'm going to combine the two, and I'm going to show you guys so much. It's going to open up your world. So by the time you guys are done, you're probably going to want to be signing up for a tech college. There is a shortage of mechanics, and this is another reason why I'm doing this channel. If I could have a teacher position, if I could, if a school would hire me to be a teacher, I would definitely jump on it. Unfortunately, nobody's doing mechanics on bikes, so nobody's looking for a bike mechanic, and I don't want to be doing cars no more. So if there was a trade school in my area that would do bikes, I would be all over that, like a fat kid on a cupcake, well, like myself on a cupcake, because I would love to teach. But I can't, so I'm going to do it on YouTube, and YouTube has been pretty good to me. I can't really complain. I don't have any controversial stuff on here, there's no political stuff, and so it's been very, very good. I'm keeping my channel straight and narrow, and it works pretty well. So, and my audience, you guys have been absolutely amazing, and encouragement. And even when I went through my little rut where I had some stuff going on in my personal life, you guys always checked in on me. Hi, Kevin, how you doing? I haven't heard you for a while, and you guys have just been not just students, but you guys have been friends, and that's really important. What's up, buddy?
Where's my Chromebook?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
So, does that need to be charged?
I think yes, but I just want to do something on it.
Okay, go ahead, go for it. So, yeah, it's been an amazing adventure. And when I started this channel, or my son started this channel, May 4th, 2016, and it took me a week to get a subscriber. I honestly didn't think this was going to grow. And then YouTube changed their policy where you had to have 1,000 subscribers to even make money. And then they had, I remember when it was, it's $100 threshold. So you can go months without making $100, but when they'll pay you when you make $100. So it took a while to get to this channel. If you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I will tell you it is rewarding, but it's hard. And once you get your name out there and people understand who you are and what you're putting out for content, you will get subscribers, and one person will lead to another. Most often, it's about, hey James, it's about shares, it's about thumbs up. Those help move the channel upwards. So, pretty cool. I appreciate that. Thank you, John. It is one of those things where it literally is my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to do. I look forward to the live chats. I look forward to answering your questions. And most of all, teaching you guys. And like I said, we have built this. This is because of all you guys. Wish you had. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I wish I did too. Literally, it is. It's only a couple $100 a month, and that right there doesn't even touch the parts that I have to put into the stuff. So it's crazy, but it's one of those things where when we get to that level, where when we grow and we hit 8,000-9,000 subscribers, then the money will start coming in. Then we'll be able to invest it, because all the money I get from YouTube, I invest into YouTube. I invest into this channel. So whether it be parts or projects and stuff like that, new innovation things, tools, tech stuff, that all goes towards the channel, and it's pretty neat. But it's really hard, especially where I'm like, I guess some people go, "Oh, the audio sucks. You sound like the what's that guy there, Peter Griffin and blah, blah, blah." Listen, dude, don't give me a hard time. Okay, I'm doing the best I can. Oh, you're very welcome, Corey. In case discovered that school. Yep. Yeah. Sometimes that happens. Those spider nests, especially this time of year, will just it's a pain in the neck. They like to fill in all the little cracks and crevices, so that's why it's very, very important. Well, if you're going to be doing something like that too, and you can be putting it away, take a trash bag, put a trash bag in, put a zip tie on it, and then you can get back to it later on. That way they don't get into that. Also too, this is going to sound kind of dumb, but it works. They don't like mothballs. So if you put mothballs around, like I have some in my shed, yeah, they stink. I know. But they keep that stuff away. They don't like it. It irritates them. They stay out. Mice, they stay out because they just don't like that smell. If you go to like some of the older hardware stores, they have excuse me. They have urines. They sell urine. You can get coyote urine and put that around. Do not waste your money on that crap. It does not work. Okay. Especially if the animal has never encountered a coyote, they are not going to know what the predator's scent is. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. Yep, that is a good set. I actually have one myself. Harbor Freight comes in handy for a lot of cool tools. Just remember, with any tool, whether it be a Snap-on or a Harbor Freight, if you use it correctly and you take your time with it, it will last you. If you use them incorrectly, if you use a screwdriver as a chisel, it's not going to last. Yep, exactly. $17, you can't go wrong. And if you don't use it for a couple of years, you really didn't lose out on any money. If you had a Snap-on one and you spent like $500 on a Snap-on tap and die set, and you only used it that one time, you're going to be pretty upset. That is why a lot of times, like you'll see on my channel, I'll use top of the line stuff. I'll use bottom of the barrel stuff. I call it bottom of the barrel. It's not really bottom of the barrel, but you guys get the idea. One of my favorite tools, one of my favorite lineup of tools is my Milwaukee M12. I use that on pretty much everything. I got to get some ratchets. I want to get the Milwaukee M12 ratchet set. But battery operated stuff makes my day go by a lot quicker, and I can produce a lot more. But once again, I'm turning out a lot of different bikes and cars and trucks and what have you. So I need that top end stuff. Where if you're only working on your own bike in your shed or your garage, you don't need that. That's why when I use the torque wrench, I either use my Snap-on one or my old style one, which I still love, my old Craftsman. Tell you about Craftsman tools, you can go to a hardware store, not hardware store, a flea market, yard sales, and always find Craftsman stuff. And I swear by Craftsman, if I was to go back in and be a professional mechanic all over again, which I would in an instant, that's all I would buy. I'd buy Harbor Freight and Craftsman. I would not buy Snap-on, Mac, or any of that stuff because it's really just overpriced stuff. Excuse me, and that's the honest to God truth. It's just it looks pretty, and people look at you. Oh wow, you got Snap-on. Yeah, I got a $500 torque wrench. I also have a $30 torque wrench that does the same damn thing. You know, I could have gone to Harbor Freight and bought one for $20, which would do the same thing as a $500 one. You know, you don't need a battery-operated torque wrench that vibrates and dings and chimes and does everything else. You don't. You don't need to do that. You can literally buy a cheap torque wrench as long as you wind it back down to 0 and you don't leave it on the torque setting that it's on because you don't want to, you want to relax it. It's the same thing. Yep, the click. Yep, click, click, click. Yep. Precision hammer out of it. That's a good one, James. Yeah, I mean, so seriously though, you mean tools? If you take care of them, and I always tell people, put them away. Make sure you keep your metrics. And metric sockets are sacred. You know, everything from 8 all the way up to 19. You want to have everything in between. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try. I honestly try, and I try to get all the information for you guys, and we keep growing together, and we're going to be doing some crazy stuff coming up really, really soon, especially like you with the motorcycle run. I think that's going to be really cool, and that will be on video for a lot of you guys who are in different states who are not going to be able to make it. Just so you guys know, you guys will be with us. And I might even try to do a little live stream up at the top. So we'll figure something out, but y'all are going to be included in that. Thank you. Yeah, I try. I basically when I'm looking, and that's why I pause it a lot because I want to make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, and I focus in on like the other day when I was doing Alvin's oil pump. I wanted to make sure you guys saw that line. And I'm pretty adamant with the camera to make sure that I was able to show you guys that because that is important information. If I'm just telling you the lines line up, you're like, what lines? Where's he even looking? You know, and I don't like that. When you watch some of these channels and they're like, oh, so line up. What? What are we lining up? You know? So you have to make sure you know, it's all about, perception of seeing what I'm seeing. And that's what I try to do in the camera.
I just want to say hello.
Oh, and you want to say hello.
Hello.
My goon. Okay, go do your thing, buddy. You got a few minutes left, okay? So, yeah, it's all about perception, and I want you guys to see what I'm seeing and looking where I'm looking and know what I'm talking about when I'm doing it. Because if I start talking to you guys about oil pumps and you guys never saw an oil pump, you're not going to know what the heck I'm talking about. And that's why I focus in and just kind of, this is what I'm working on, the lines and all that. And explaining the relationship between the carburetor and the oil pump and why I do things the way I do them. You set the drill. The drill boss. What are you talking about? Did you see the drill? Where that tube is going up? I'm not really sure what you're talking about. There's what do you call it there? That carburetor, I just cleaned it the way it was. There's no power jet on that. That tube that comes off the top is actually a vent. I'll have to take a look. I'm not really sure. Whereabouts are you talking about? Oh, where that could be? Yes, it could. Yes, I did see that. There is a spot where you can drill for a power jet. The KE 125, that carburetor actually has a spot for a power jet. Yes, and also that carburetor is also used on other bikes. It's not just used on the KE 125. So it's used on a few different bikes, and some Suzuki's use it, especially Suzuki's. That motor has a real lot in common with Suzuki, and you'll notice that on a lot of Kawasaki bikes, that their sister or a lot of their ideas like exhaust flanges, carburation, oil pumps, locations, covers, they look a lot like Suzuki's because they do have a lot in common. There was a time when Suzuki shared a lot of information with Kawasaki and they worked back and forth. Point in case, the Suzuki Junior 50 is the same engine on the Kawasaki KDX 50. Same engine, same parts, pieces. Suzuki made it for them. Now, there is on, like Andrew's bike has one gear. There's actually a secret to that motor where there actually is a second gear in that motor. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to get two gears out of that bike and what they are and all that. So there is a lot of cool stuff, a little secretive stuff. Like the Suzuki's have two gears. Why does the Kawasaki have one? So just different things like that. So you'll be seeing all that. Oh, excuse me. It's getting late, guys. So, but anyway, guys, that is the wife. I'm going to end it here. I just want to take a moment and say thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing and the thumbs up, guys. 10 thumbs up. Thank you very much. These all help me out tremendously and help this channel grow. So I just want to say once again, thank you. Oh no, I was just saying, James, that the what do you call it? The Kawasaki and Suzuki's have that carburetor is shared on Suzuki bikes, and that's why some of them have the power jet. And you'll notice that there's a lot of covers and all that that are the same on Kawasaki's as Suzuki's. They're very, very similar, and a lot of the parts are interchangeable. So, and I was saying good night to everybody. I just want, once again, guys, thank you very much for all your subscribers, all your thumbs up, all your shares. Sharing the channel has brought in a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new people to the channel who didn't even know we were here doing what we're doing. And it's helped out a massive amount of people. And I'm literally at the point where I'm watching the subscriber numbers jump up. What does that mean? Subscriber. When I see a subscriber, I see a bike. There's a bike behind that. And that person may be trying to figure out a problem with the bike, and then they come here for the first time, and then, oh, wow, he's doing a live chat, or he's doing something, he's talking about these other bikes, and it applies to me. And by you guys sharing and the thumbs up, they increases the amount of traffic coming through the channel. And this helps grow our audience, and it helps grow our family is basically what it's doing. So it's allowing people to fix more and more bikes. I have a quick question. I don't know about a lot of later castings. It really depends if the carburetor was used on other bikes. Is really what it comes down to. And if that bike, the 125, there might be a motocross version of that motor used with that carburetor would have a power jet, or a lot of times the Makuni will have a special carburetor that they punched out the hole and they have a special power jet for. So it's all in the way they wanted to set it up. How much are my tools worth? I've got about 70,000 invested in tools. And I don't like saying that because I don't want to intimidate anybody in saying you have to buy $70,000 worth of tools. You don't have to buy $70,000 worth of tools. You can literally cheapen it all up, and you can get away with that. So a lot of the stuff that I have that's the top end stuff is actually for automotive, not dirt bikes. Like I said, I got two of my torque wrenches are $1,000. They're 500 each, and those are my Snap-on digital ones, which you've seen on the channel. I have a multimeter that is it's just crazy money. My what do you call it there? My power probes that I could find shorts on the wire, just run it down the wire and tell me whether there's a break in the wire. Those are a couple $100 a piece, So I mean, there's a lot of money invested, but I also show you guys when I use those specialty tools how you can do it with a simple multimeter. Just for me, Tom, it's a lot faster to use those higher end tools than it is to try to diagnose where a break is. So if I test a wire, I can find out if a wire is broken. With the fancy tool, I can find out where the break is. I can just run it down the wire. Oh, the break is right here. I can open up the wire, strip it, solder it back together, heat shrink it back together, and then I have a good wire again. So it's pretty neat how I can do all that.
I want to see
No, be careful. Be careful. What was that?
I want to get this stuff.
Okay. So anyway, guys, thank you again for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me on Wheelie Wednesday, and I will see you guys next week. So you can say goodbye, guys. You can say goodbye.
No, you say it.
All right. I will talk to you guys later. I'm out.
Bye.